You know what happens when you try to lock me in a shark cage before the match even starts? You know what happens? You just lost your title! What's up? I'm Pete Last Guy, and in honor of the brand new US co-champion, I'm going to be dressed like this for the remainder of the video. If that's a problem, deal with it. So let's just jump right into this episode because, wow, Raw sure did jump right into their episode, let me tell you. Start with the backstage segment. Of course, it's Steph and Mick because that's just how we start Raw now, I guess. But Foley is even more trimmed up, looking even more like a gentleman. And Steph tells him that his performance review is coming up and that his entire performance review hinges on whether or not he can get the unpredictable force of nature, the Undertaker, to show up at WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. And that's a weird and kind of a dumb thing to base your entire performance review on, but hey, whatever, wrestling's dumb. But then Seth shows up and he says some stuff, and then Braun shows up with Rollins, and Braun get into it. Braun like just about takes Rollins' head off with a chair, like he ducks under it, but like Braun just like, whoa, not even like a folding chair, like a chair. But Braun's mad because Roman Reigns, along with Goldberg, speared him at the end of last week's episode, and so he wants a match with Reigns. But whatever, that's not super important because it brings us right into our first match, which is, you know, supposed to be the US title match, handicap match between Team Jericho, as I'm still calling them, and Roman Reigns, and everything just goes crazy. Everything just goes nuts at the beginning of this match. Braun shows up to brutalize Roman because, if you don't recall, he's very angry at Roman. I mean, he's very angry just in general, all the time, forever, but in this case, it's directed towards Roman Reigns because of that whole spear thing. Seth, of course, shows up to help. He runs in carrying a chair, and he's beating up Braun with the chair, and then Reigns gets a chair, and they're both beating him up and stuff. Steph comes in to break everything up and be like, okay, alright, this is not how it's gonna go. And she postpones that US title match until the final match of the evening, to make it the main event, which I feel like it should have been. I feel like I should have been tipped off that something wasn't gonna, something was gonna go a little wonky when this was the match that opened the night, you know? I mean, it's not like you should really ever open a show with like a big main event style title match. Gosh, that would just be crazy. But in addition to that, Steph decides that since these two want to fight so much, they're going to get one, so Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, they get a match coming up next. It's a pretty darn good match. Braun is very good at doing what he does, being the big, nearly unstoppable, brute, machine, Terminator person, and Seth Rollins just wailing away at him, not looking weak. You know, even though Braun's doing a lot of no-selling because that's his character, that's what he does, it still doesn't make Seth Rollins look weak. He's got some real good hits in there. There's a really great spot where Seth goes for a blockbuster and Braun's just like, no, it's not gonna happen. No. The match ends by double countout, which again, I think is a good idea because both guys end up looking very strong, but you can only do so many of those wonky finishes with Braun, you know, until people start to want like a real solid finish, a solid loss, and he's going to take it. And that hasn't happened yet, and it shouldn't have happened yet, so that's good. But eventually it's going to come, and it's going to be very dramatic when it does because of all this build-up. I think they're making Braun work. I think they're doing very good things with him. In fact, they've stopped having him split his attention. He's no longer multitasking. That whole Sami Zayn thing seems to be over. Sami Zayn himself might be over after that last match, but not over in like the wrestling sense, but like over as in he's no more. I'm saying he's dead. He's dead. But fan theory, okay, my buddy Aaron, shout outs to Aaron, one of the 4 people that watches this, hey, he has this idea that Sami Zayn gets sidelined for a while because of, you know, the brutalization he suffered at the hands of Braun and returns as El Generico. What? That way he could feud with Kevin Owens again, because, you know, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, well, that feud is officially over, except that it's not actually over. They had a match after they said it was over, but forget about that. El Generico is a completely different wrestler, so we'll see. We'll see. Hey, it'd be cool, right? There's this really cool thing that happened after that Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman match. Getting back to that, you know, Braun goes for this beatdown. You know, Seth kind of crawls his way back into the ring after the double count out, and Braun's just like, what? No, what? No, was it? You know I can't count. And it looks like he's gonna jump up into the ring to start, you know, one of those post-match beatdowns that we're so fond of. But Seth Rollins grabs a chair and is just like fending him off like he's some kind of wild animal. And Braun's just like, it was a really cool little post-match thing that happened, because again, it really did feel like he was fending off some wild animal, some force of nature. I'm such a Braun mark. I can't help it. I love it. This was refreshing. I talk about how sick I am of the Reigns, Rollins, Jericho, Owens, Braun thing, but this was a good part of it. I enjoyed every second of this match. Fantastic. Let's jump over to the women's division for a second here, because we got this backstage segment where Sasha and Bayley were asking Steph for a match with Charlotte and Nia, and Charlotte and Nia show up, and there's blah 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 and a beat down after some talking, which one of the things that Charlotte says, she also clapping like, oh hey yeah, and I thought Emma Stone was the best actress from the Golden Globes, but she couldn't handle Candle to you. You heard it here, folks, right on Monday Night Raw. Emma Stone can't handle a candle. Give her one of those Yankee candles for her birthday. She just freaks out. Just loses it. She can't. It's the aroma. She's just very sensitive. She gets headaches. It's not. You don't want to give her that. But that makes a match for later in the night. Might as well talk about it here. After this big beatdown, you know, Steph tells Sasha and Bayley that, oh, you want a match so bad. Okay, here you go. You get your match against Charlotte and Nia, but it's not next week. You're getting it tonight, even though you just got the tar beat right out of you. Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah. And they did have fun with it. Even though they lost, they ended up losing that match. But again, a very good match. I thought everybody looked strong throughout that match. Bayley looked strong, even though I think she was the one that took the pin from Nia. Nia can't help but look strong. That's just what she does all the time. She exudes strength. Nia's my favorite. You know, fighting through whatever injuries or whatever they may have sustained during that beatdown, and Sasha with her bum leg. Kayfabe bum leg. I just thought everybody looked strong. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good build. Here's some dream booking for you, okay? Here's my kind of prediction, kind of what I might want to see happen. What might actually happen is Bayley, once she gets the championship off of Charlotte, eventually, like Sasha was hinting at, eventually they get into a feud, and Sasha tries to get the title off of Bayley, and then Sasha, I think, turns heel during that feud. Or, it would be even more shocking, and people would lose their minds, and I would love it. It'll never happen, but it'd be even cooler if Bayley turned heel. You know? I want that to happen just to see the look on Izzy's face. Yeah. But let's leave the women's division and come on into Cruiserweight Corner, because it wasn't bad this week. I still feel like there's something missing every time the Cruiserweights show up on Raw, because I'm not watching 205 Live, and again, their matches just seem like they're commercials for 205 Live, but I'm okay with that as long as I get to see more Jack Gallagher and more Neville. Jack Gallagher is fantastic. I love everything about Jack Gallagher. He brings that distinctly British style of wrestling, a lot of really cool grappling, a lot of real goofy stuff that, you know, where gets, you know, stands with his legs in the air in the corner, and just, you know, as Drew Gulak runs at him, he just puts his leg down like, oh! It's so goofy, it's so silly, and I love every stinking second of it. And Neville, of course, had a match too where he fought Lince Dorado and won. And I mean, not a whole lot, I guess, necessarily to say about that match, except for that Neville is fantastic to watch now that he's heel. I love it. And that Rich Swann came out at the end to just really put the whooping on Neville. I mean, just, it was intense, and I loved it. And Neville, you know, kind of escapes, runs out the ring, setting up more feuding on 205 Live that I'm, in all honesty, not going to watch. Probably. Sorry, I got things to do. Hey, want to know how to make a wrestling fan die inside? Show HBK dabbing. Yeah. But let's talk about Shawn Michaels' appearance. He's there to hype up the Royal Rumble, obviously, and it's good to see him in the ring. It's good to hear him on the mic. But the fact that he was mostly just there to hype the Royal Rumble and his, you know, whatever God's Not Dead knockoff movie he's in right now, it was hard to get too excited. But I mean, it was still exciting to see him Then Rusev and Lana and Jinder Mahal come out, and oh man, this was my favorite part of this entire segment, because him and Rusev are in the ring just like promoting back and forth, trading jabs, and you can tell that they're both just like on the edge of cracking up and just losing it for the entire segment. They're having so much fun with each other. It was so good to see. It was incredibly entertaining. They're two such good performers. Rusev needs a better push because he's so great, and trading off HBK, it was so good. I was having a really good time, and then. Comes Enzo and Cass, and honestly, I'm starting to resent seeing them now, and I hate that because I loved them, and this storyline has made them both unbearable to me. And then they come out and they align with HBK, and it was still kind of funny, but it was, it's okay, we get it. You get your catchphrase, there's your catchphrase, crotch joke, catchphrase, crotch joke. Movie titles, how you doing? But they come and they say stuff that sets up a match between Cass and Jinder Mahal, and honestly, I couldn't possibly care less. I mean, I know Shawn Michaels was at ringside, he gave Rusev the sweet chin music, fantastic. The rest of it, get this storyline out of here, man. Cut it, end it. It doesn't even need to resolve. Just stop. Stop. Do like you did with Mex America and making Darren Young great again. Just stop. Just drop it. We won't miss it. We won't. And then for the cherry on top of this mess, hey, you ever find yourself wondering, like, hey, why has Big Cass not done the East River Crossing nearly as much anymore? He hasn't been doing that move. Why hasn't he been doing that move? Oh, right, that's why. Botches the East River Crossing, does the Empire Elbow. The replay doesn't even show the East River Crossing because they're like, no, it's not, no, we can't, this is why you don't do that. Waste of HBK. That's what this was. It was a waste of HBK, for the most part. Still love the stuff with Rusev, though. And there was a Sheamus versus Luke Gallows match that was just a rehash of the Cesaro versus Carl Anderson match from last week. And, Sheamus won. Even though it was a rehash, with Cesaro on commentary and Carl Anderson on commentary, and then eventually they get into it, distracts them. It's a whole thing. But even though it was just a rehash, it was still a solid match. Two very solid workers, two big dudes, fun to watch, some good spots. It was a mediocre match. I don't know why they had to have this match. I guess they were trying to fill time. And then this whole Undertaker thing comes to a head. Mick's out there, he delivers a speech asking the Undertaker to show up, and then the lights go out. Whoops, it's Steph. Haha. Oh, gotcha. You suck. Woo, I'm Steph McMahon. Blah. She comes out and starts giving a very negative, performance review, all heel, authority figure-like, and all that stuff. And then, bong! That's right, there he is. There's the Undertaker. Come on, like you thought he wasn't going to show up. As though anybody thought he wasn't actually going to show up. But he gets to the ring after about 45 minutes of walking down the ramp and announces to the WWE Universe that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble too. This is going to be a cool Royal Rumble match, guys. I don't want to be the guy that falls for the hype, but this Royal Rumble match so far has got Taker and Goldberg and Lesnar. I mean, among others, Braun. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. I always enjoy the Royal Rumble. Well, okay, not that one. We don't talk about it, though. But this one's going to be really good. And then Taker makes his statement, tells Steph he answers to nobody, and then says that all his opponents in the Royal Rumble match are gonna rest in peace. Seriously, what was that at the end? What at the end of the word peace? What was he? Did he burp or something? Like what? It was funny. I'm sorry, it was funny. What else is there to talk about for this week? I guess the New Day had another Titus O'Neil segment. They mocked him for his failure on NXT back in the day, and then they had him do it again, and he failed again, and they kept mocking him, mocking. Be a star. Leads to a match between Titus O'Neil and Kofi Kingston, and of course Kofi Kingston picks up the win. So now he's fought two members of the New Day in pretty much the exact same segment 2 weeks in a row. You know what that means. Next week he's gonna fight Big E, and my prediction, I think he wins. Because it's actually going to be it's going to be impressive, more impressive, because Big E is the big dude. He's the powerhouse of the New Day. It's going to be really impressive when he beats Big E, so badly that he's out of commission, or there's a stipulation on the match maybe that says that if he wins, he has to be the new member of the New Day. I think this accumulates in him actually getting into the New Day. I really do. I think that's where they're going with it, and whether that's a good thing or not, you can decide for yourself. Let me know in the comments. But I think that's the way it's gonna go. We'll see. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I don't think I hate it either. And then the U.S. title match. What can you say? What can you say? Fantastic. Handicap match. Jericho versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't even wait for the bell. He just runs out the ring, starts beating on these dudes, tries to lock Chris Jericho in the shark cage and gets halfway to doing it when Kevin Owens attacks him, lets Jericho out, and they throw Reigns into the shark cage. He hits it, it falls. And some more beating down, and then eventually they get him back in the ring. The ref checks him out, and then the match starts. And I'm not going to run through the match spot by spot. You saw it. It was great. I loved it. I feel like the Codebreaker gets caught more often than he actually lands it these days. But hey, whatever. He won, right? Jericho won the U.S. title. Jericho are co-double champions. Would you look at that? It was great. I loved it. Huge pop from the crowd when it happened. Huge pop from me when it happened. What can you say? I think this was the right thing to do. I think it's the right direction to take this storyline, and I think it was the right way to end Raw, and it's the right way to end this episode of Raw Emotion, where I tell you a little bit about what I think and a lot about how I feel. I didn't say the catchphrase at the beginning. You thought I wasn't going to say it. I did. Ha! But that's all I've got. So, let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Where do you think the Titus O'Neil thing is going? Is he going to be a member of the New Day? Who's going to win the Royal Rumble match? Where do you think that leads, WrestleMania-wise? You think it's going to be Taker? You think that Cena's going to beat AJ Styles over on SmackDown for the WWE Championship? And then Cena versus Taker at WrestleMania? Taker retires, leaves his hat in the ring? What do you think? Comments! But otherwise, like the video, share it with people who like wrestling, and go on and click that subscribe button for more weekly content from Brother Mania Brother. We do this every week. We review Raw, we review SmackDown. We try to get videos out about the pay-per-views every month. However many there are now. I don't know. There's so many. Wow, there's just so many. But that's it. Hey, thank you for watching. I've been Pete Last Guy. You've been a delight. This match right here, though, is over in 1, 2, 3. And eventually, Sabu. I am sick today, but we're still gonna do this. Excuse me. Got a backstage segment, you know, where Sasha and Bayley were asking Steph for a... Hold on. Yahoo! Dang it. Okay. Oh, I've got the cough of Jericho. Hack it up, man. Oh, no.